Alrighty, it is another morning session. Today's plan is simple. It's been 50 degrees for a while. Fall is right around the corner. People are going to be getting back out. It's not going to be as hot. So today what I want to do is show y'all how to catch fish on the bank, where to cast, what to look for, things like that. Stick around. We're going to catch some fish. Let's go. Alright, the setup is pretty straightforward. Got an ultralight combo on. The lure is what's important here. It is a Bronco blade with a mule jig on and a mule minnow. This is what we're going to be throwing around. It's going to create some action. I have some slower lures if I have to, just a mule jig and things like that, but this is what I want to throw just in case fish are chasing with these colder temps. So my first area that I'm going to cast, I'm right here on the bank. You can see I have all this bank in front of me. The first area I'm going to cast, no matter what, is going to be parallel to the bank. Casting parallel to the bank gives me the ability to get in front of more fish because, as you can tell, there's little bubbles going around. Those are the little minnows that are cruising along the bank. The bigger fish will be a little bit deeper. This will get me right in between both of them to see if I can catch a fish. So we're going to cast right here. Going to do a first cast and see if we get into something. And the trick is you want to cast in the area multiple times. Sometimes the fish need a hot second to see, oh wait, that was something I can actually eat. So you'll need to, oh, I had a bite. That was a hit. That could have been something small. And the cool thing with a lure like this is that it allows you to fish fast and move around a little faster. So I'm probably going to do a couple more casts here before I decide to move a little bit further down the bank or down this way. Now, you can use any jig spinner you want for this kind of technique, but I like to use a Bronco blade because you don't have to reel it in that fast to get the blade moving. I mean, you can. If you just want to burn it, you can burn it and it'll do just fine. But, like, I don't know if you can see it flickering, but I'm barely even reeling right now. And it's coming in at a decent pace. It could just be that it's a little bit more shallow than I think there. So we're going to cast it right in front of us right here. Let's see what's out there. Oh. That felt like something. That was interesting. What's happening? Little fish? If you feel in thumps and you don't know if it's fish or hang-ups, normally if it's a hang-up, you'll find grass all over your lure. I'm not seeing any grass, so it's making me think something is actually hitting it. Got one. Yep. Oh, had one. Man, okay, that could have been something small. I think I just found where the fish are. They're a little bit further than I thought. And that's one of the good reasons is to start working your way out. So I started closer to the bank and I started spreading my way out. And now I'm casting right out there. So now I know they're like a few feet out there. Let's see if I speed it up and see what ends up happening. They're hitting it. Oh man, they are so hitting it. But they just don't seem to want to take it. They could be small. Got one. There we go. There we go. On the pause. Nice one. First one on the board. Got a nice little bluegill here. We're going to put him back. Boop. So that actually showed me something. Seems like that fish hit it on the pause. So I might need to do some burns, some reels and pauses then. Like this. That's the other cool thing about this kind of lure is that it lets me vary my retrieve if I want to. I can slow it down, I can speed it up. That was another hit. Got one. Yep. Ooh, what are you? You're fighting a little different. Oh, you're another bluegill. You just kind of gave up there, buddy. Another beauty. Crazy thing is, these fish are so warm. This guy hooked himself like 20 times. Here's another one. Another pretty little guy. I'm gonna put him back. I think I found the school. They seem to be staged up a few feet from the bank, which is interesting. I would have expected them to be a little bit closer to the bank. But once you find them, you just keep casting out to it until you can't find it anymore. The trick is, once you do find them, you just keep kind of seeing where they're at. Like, I know they're in that general area now, so I'll cast to it a few times. I'll cast to the left, cast to the right, maybe even try to cast as far as I can behind. Oh, got one almost at the end. That fish followed it way up. He was waiting. We're gonna go to the left of where I've been casting, see how far out they go. And I'm just gonna keep doing a steady retrieve here, because the thing is, they could be right where I'm casting and following it in a little bit further than I'm casting and seeing it, or between me and where I'm casting. And until they make live scope from the bank, you're just not gonna know. Got another one. Nice one. There we go. This one's putting up a good fight. Bigger. Nice chunker. Whew, she's pretty. She's real pretty. Look at that. What a beauty. Oh no, this is a male. See those bands going down the side? What a pretty fish. My goodness. Now, where I'm casting isn't really technique specific. You can do this with anything. You can do this with like a ultralight jig. You can do this with the float setup, with live bait. This is more just trying to find the fish. The reason I'm using a Bronco blade or a jig spinner is because I want to move a little faster. Even though I've been staying in the same spot, I've been covering water a lot faster than I would have if I was throwing like a jig or a float rig. So even if you're not using this lure, if you're using something else, you can still use the same like principles of working the bank, especially if you're at like a pond similar to this. Now we're gonna do a few more casts because I casted a few times out there and I haven't gotten a bite before we start moving around. And that's kind of another tip, is if the bite has died down after you've caught a few fish in one spot, usually means those fish kind of wised up to what you were doing. They're like, hey, that's actually not food that's been looking like food, or you've actually caught all the fish in that small little area. But my point is, if the bite has died down, there's a couple things you can try. One is you can change lure colors. I've seen that work. Like if you're throwing like a trout magnet, those are super easy to switch out. But two is you can vary your retrieve. So I've just been doing like a straight burn, not a straight burn, but I've been doing like a straight retrieve. But now I'm going to burn it, like see if speeding it up will help trigger a bite. So I'll point my tip down so that it doesn't rise too high, and then I'll just reel it in as fast as I want to. Alright, we haven't gotten a bite here in a few minutes, so we're going to start moving. I'm seeing some activity over here, so we're actually just going to turn around. We're not going to actually physically move spots. We're going to turn around, start casting that way, see what's out here. Now I know from experience, and you can actually kind of see it in the bank, that there's kind of like a mini point right here. Ooh, I already got a bite. There's like a mini point right in here. And points are usually a good spot where fish like to stay. You can actually kind of see, if you see the angle at which the bank is going, and then right in front of that post, you can kind of see it like kind of angles out, and then it starts to angle back in. That usually follows into the water. And fish like to stage on points. So without going into the details, you can target points and you're gonna be able to connect with fish. Like I just got a bite on that first one, so I'm just casting it out there. I know it's a little bit deeper, but not too deep, so I let it sink for like a second, and then I'm just gonna start reeling it in. And just like I did on the other spot, I'm gonna let it do its thing. Ooh, 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 see? Boom. On the point. Big baby. Uh-huh. Another nice one. Angry, angry. Calm down. Another beauty. Look at that beauty. Do a couple more casts here before we start moving to the other side of this point. The other thing I like about using a jig spinner that's super sensitive is you can actually feel it vibrating. I can feel it vibrating into the rod, so I know it's spinning. Ooh, something just hit it. Come on. And sometimes you'll only catch one fish depending on your lure. Like, I'm using a fast moving ultralight lure. If I was using like a slower lure or smaller lure, I might be getting more bites. And that's where the experimentation and trying different lures comes in. But we're fast movers today. We're zooming around. We're not trying to sit here and take it a little slow. Not with the weather like this. I feel like any fish that we end up catching on this is going to be aggressive. It's going to be a fun fight. So we're moving a little bit more left of this point, seeing if there's any fish further away. Again, this is like a tiny, tiny point. But even that is enough. Boom! A little bit left, baby. That's all it took. Oh, don't get me in that branch. There we go. Jumping up like Michael Jordan, baby. This guy's a little thick boy. See what I mean? Nice, aggressive, very, very thick. Putting on some weight. Getting ready for his bulk season. We're going to put him back in. Such a cutie. Boom. All I did was move a little bit left of where this little mini point is, and was able to connect with another one. We're gonna cast in that same spot. We're on the other side of the point, and the plan is to do exactly what I was doing on the other side, but on this side. So again, point kind of follows up here, dips that way. That's following into the water. One thing to keep in mind, you can see it right here, is I got this little like mini log in here. I want to keep an eye on that, make sure I don't get snagged in it, but fish will also stage on the other side of that, hide underneath it, hang around it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Ooh, little guy, the tiniest of the day. Hey, oh no, no, little largie, come here. You're the first one I've caught in a while from here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. No, oh my gosh. Calm down, little micro. Calm down, buddy. Talk about a tank. Look at this stud, man. Oh, you're all covered. Hold on, buddy. We'll get you all cleaned up. Look at this stud muffin of a largemouth bass. What a cutie. It's funny because I was just talking about how there's no largemouth bass, and here's one. We're going to put him back. Now I'm going to show you the final type of area that I would like to fish at. And I don't actually have to move from where I'm at your bodies of water. You might actually have to. All I have to do is turn a little bit, and you're gonna see right here that there's like these big trees, and their branches are overhanging a few feet into the water. And this is the other type of structure that I would look for. Big overhangs that are relatively higher than the other areas we were fishing. You'll find these all across the ponds. In fact, you can see them all along that side of the bank, that side of the bank too. But when they go over the water, those are usually good areas to target, because fish, and you can actually see some activity over there, fish will stage underneath here waiting for things to drop from the tree, bugs, things like that, and they'll just hang out in here, especially if it's, you know, deep enough or shallow enough for something that they want to do. I know from just fishing this place for a long time, during the spawn, bluegill will just bed right in this area, right in here, and hang out. So we're gonna do a few casts in here, see what we can pull out, see what we catch. Hopefully we get into a few of them. So one thing to keep in mind, if while you're moving around, after catching fish in one area, you're not catching them in your new areas after that bite has died down, go back to those spots after a while. If you have the time, and if those spots are not taken by somebody else already, go back. What happens sometimes is those fish will move away because they're feeling threatened. Their fish are getting yanked out of the water, but they'll eventually move back. They'll go back to that area they were in, and you can go back and start targeting more fish again. All right, that last spot was a bust, and we are out of time, but hopefully you can use all the tips I've given you here today to go catch some fish this fall. You can use those tips all along the bank, see how you do, see what's out there. Get out there, enjoy yourself, enjoy God's beautiful creation. Everything I use will be in the description down below. If you want to pick up some stickers, fishlabs.shop. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys on the next one. Happy fishing, and God bless.